virtual event, bringing together industry professionals, youth innovators, and Ivy League academics and motivational speakers to ignite the potential in the youth to become change makers and make a difference to the community. We just had a session by Siddharth Bhatt, who was a JKYog Youth Club member, talking about his entrepreneurial journey, about how he's taking his idea to the next level through his networking and social capital, as well as his business and technical skills. And coming to the topic of building social capital and reaching out to people to tell them about your product, our next speaker is an industry expert in the field of digital marketing. Reaching out to people, because people are going to use your product, people are going to support you in your next entrepreneurial venture or even in your social venture. People form a part of your team. And how do you reach those people if they're in different parts of the world? What are their interests? And so based on that, that's how you can sell your product or market your product. And Gaurav Palande is a digital marketing industry expert in social media, search marketing, email marketing, and many other aspects. He has successfully led multi-million dollar sales and marketing products in global companies such as Apple, Polycom, Synopsys, ByteDance, etc. He holds an undergraduate degree in engineering from the University of Mumbai. So those of you all from the University of Mumbai, yay for you. And a master's degree in business administration from the San Francisco State University, the Bay Area. Uh, he is passionate about technology and its impact on humankind. And in his free time, he likes to watch documentaries, learn modern business practices, spend time on social media, which is not unexpected. And he enjoys cooking. As a matter of fact, he mentioned his favorite dish is actually paneer makhani. So that's a little bit about Gaurav. And his talk is titled, "You Have a Brilliant Idea. What next? The power of digital marketing." Very warm welcome to you, Gaurav ji. Radhe Radhe. And we absolutely cannot wait to hear what you have to share with our youth audience about marketing their next big idea. Over to you.
Radhe Radhe Aditi ji, and thank you very much for that warm welcome. I am super excited to be here and share with all of you and people who are online about some best practices on digital marketing. And I hope that people take away some of the learnings that I have gathered in my last 12 years. So thank you once again for that warm welcome. For this session, what I have done is prepared a slide deck um, so that I can walk you with all the tips and tricks step by step. And for that reason, let me share my screen. Are you able to see my screen? Perfect. Once again, thanks for that warm welcome. You mentioned all the logos that I've worked with. I'm soon going to join Amazon, which is a great company to work at and be part of their Amazon hub, which is Amazon lockers that many people may be familiar with. I'll be part of that, leading the demand gen and digital marketing initiative. So I'm super excited with that. And in addition to paneer makhani, some of the dishes that I've recently cooked in this lockdown was gajar halwa and rasgulla. A tough combination, but really pushed me to my potential to cook and take it to the next level. So I was excited to cook those dishes. My friends loved it. So that's a testimony of how things went. So looking forward to this session. Uh, Let me. Perfect. So I don't know if many people were in the previous session. Siddharth ji mentioned about entrepreneurial journey and how he took his idea and really push it to the next level. In my session, I'm going to show you some tips and tricks which you can use in your day-to-day business or product, or even if you have a simple idea. And how you can do this is using digital marketing. So the fundamental piece starts with what is the goal of your idea. So for our session, what I have done is created a story, a brief story. So here there is a girl named Twinkle. She lives in Sunnyvale, California, and her goal is to raise funds for St. Jude's Children's Hospital. And for that goal, what her idea was to have a lemonade stand, so people walking in the neighborhood in the evenings, afternoons who feel thirsty can stop by and relish the cold lemonade that she really enjoyed coming up with the recipe. And she is super excited and she wants to take that idea to the next level. And she has the idea and goal. So really the journey begins with what is your idea and why you want to do it. So those are the questions that you need to answer at the early stages of your business. And then the follow-up questions are: who are you going to target? Where would you find the audience? When will you sell those products? And how will you do that? And those are the things that you have to encompass in taking your business to the next level and answering those questions. So in the next slide, what I have is answering those few questions quickly. Taking the example of Twinkle, her audience is people in the neighborhood, at the same time, people across the globe, or Sunnyvale, whom she cannot reach herself because Stand is a very local product, or even just something, a hardware. You set it up somewhere, but lemonade is something that can be shipped cold to houses. And for that reason, the fundamental piece is what is the need and what is the wants. So people who are walking in the neighborhood, they're feeling thirsty. They are needing the to something to quench their thirst. And that's when she has a spot on product. But what if people wants the product later on, or people who are not walking out in the neighborhood but wants it later? So she needs to answer that question also. And for that reason, she has the opportunity to use digital marketing to showcase her story and sell the product to those people. And that's when the how and where comes into play. How can she do it? She can do it using offline digital marketing practices or online. And I'll walk you with what those two pieces are. And when can she do it? It's now. You have a brilliant idea. Don't stop. Just go for it. Gather your friends and families and see if they are excited about the idea and product. Experiment with the product and see if people are liking it. And then as you get feedback, you can improvise on that. So those are the fundamental pieces that you really need to think about when you are starting a business or taking a product to the next level. So the next piece that comes into play is a good product and better user experience. What is important here is, okay, Twinkle has a lemonade which she likes it. She believes that it will be something that can go viral. So she creates that. But what is the use if it is not presented properly? And that's when the user experience come into play. On this slide, I have two pictures. One is, uh, a very simple, very orthodox way of presenting your lemonade, I would say. On the other side, very appealing. The placement, product placement is important. She has chosen a garden in her front yard, and then she has decorated her stand properly. Has some lemon icons on the images of the stand, and presented really well. So that creates an appeal to the audience. So that's the fundamental piece. What is the user experience that you're giving? What the benefit of all this? It helps your brand by word of mouth publicity. XYZ person drinking that lemonade is going to share with his family, and they will look forward to have the experience that the person had. And you can imagine if the person had an experience on a very orthodox stand versus this modern, fresh design looking stand. So that's the key piece. After you have the idea, the next stage is giving the better user experience and having a good product. There's an important piece here. You cannot just have a better experience and a crappy product, because then that person who drank, he will still go home and tell the family that the design and the presentation was good, but the product was bad. So those are the things that you have to really keep in mind when you are working on a product and idea. The benefit of having a good product is it establishes trust and long-term relationship. You can certainly get valuable feedback and you can improve, as I mentioned it earlier. You can tell a memorable story. The tip here is while they are drinking at your stand, you can tell them why you came up with this idea. What was the background? And that's when she can tell the goal of her lemonade stand, how she is trying to generate revenue so that she can donate to the St. Jude's Hospital. So that's there. And the fundamental piece is never lie, because that gets caught easily eventually. If you're, just making money out of this product and not donating it somewhere or the other, people will find out and it will just create a bad impression for you and for your future. So that's the important tip that I give myself as I work on different products day in, day out, is to never lie to your audience and customer. Perfect. So switching gears here and focusing more on the digital marketing and the marketing piece. So I talked to my friends, and this is a question for the attendees as well. What comes to your mind when you hear digital marketing? You have comment section on the live stream. You can put in your ideas or thoughts. What comes to your mind, digital marketing? I'll tell you what my friends think about digital marketing. They think it's social media. They think it's email marketing or website marketing. But there is more to it. So what exactly is digital marketing? It's a use of internet, mobile devices, social media, email, and all other channels that can be used to reach consumers and customers. Um, why it is important? Because people are spending 10 plus hours every day on digital media. And as you may have noticed that year after year, the digital era has evolved. We had a flip phone in the past. Now we have touch phones. So the experience is growing day in, day out. And as a result of that, people are spending more time on the phones. Under digital marketing, there is online and offline. I will speak a little bit of offline, then I'll go to online. Under offline, you have electronic billboards, digital product demos, radio commercials. That falls under digital too. People don't think about it, but it is part of digital. You are getting all that information through radio, TV commercials, SMSs. Phone marketing is very, in different parts of the world is quite prevalent even today. There is no spam block. People tend to call, even in the US, people tend to call all the time, and it's there. You can stand out as a brand using offline methodologies. When you talk about online, it's not just website or email marketing or social media. There is content marketing, there is affiliate marketing, there is SEO, SEM, social media marketing. And I'll explain to you one by one as we go through the next slides. So the first piece, once you have the product and idea, is the website. Website is the face of your company or product. So I can't emphasize enough that how important the website is when you have your product and idea for your consumers. Anytime, ask yourself, let's think of something random, chocolate. The first thing that comes to mind is going to some random website and looking up chocolates. And that's where you get different options. So you want to have a website where you can showcase your product or brand. Why a website? You can add relevant content that improves engagement. So for example, in Twinkle's case, if she has lemonade, she can have relevant content why lemonade is important. It's just one website where she's talking about lemonade day. So very cute way of sharing some story and capturing the audience attention. And that's why website is important, establishing trust and long-term relationship. Some tips that I personally believe and suggest everyone who is in this field is keep it simple. People get excited. There is homepage, but there is a limited space of white space on homepage. People tend to write a lot of things. So keep it simple. Declutter the website, homepage, and the other pages, and make use of the real estate on the website properly so that there is a combination of white space and text and images and videos, etc. So just don't dump everything that comes to your mind. Have a proper maintenance strategy for the website. Key piece is having a call to action button. What it is basically you create a website, but you want people to take action on it. Either they read more about your product or go to the shopping cart and buy the product. You want to have those buttons that call out when people visit the website. And you can do it by having some nice colors for the buttons. And most importantly is test. It's in your hand. You can always test which button is working, which button is not working. I have done A/B tests in my roles where amber color has stood out significantly versus purple color, and I didn't know that till I tested it. So before you test, you want to measure what happened before. Let's say you had purple color in the past, and now you want to test the amber color. So you have a baseline data that for purple color, you had, let's say, 50 people visiting your website and engaging. And then you can think of it like taking as a baseline and taking as a strategical way where you add amber color and monitor it, seeing it if the numbers are changing. If it is dropping, the purple is a hit. If it is growing, then there is a chance that the amber is a hit. So you can do the optimization on the website and keep repeating. A common challenge is, you get so overwhelmed with a lot of things on digital marketing. You do it once and you forget and you move on to another channel. My suggestion to you is do a monthly audit on all the channels that you have. So test, measure, optimize, and keep repeating. That's on the website. So once you have the website, the next piece that comes into play is search engine optimization. This is a technical jargon, but in a nutshell, what really it is, you have Google at your disposal. And anytime an idea or a thought comes to your mind, you go to Google and you search something. As you may have noticed, there is the front page that you have, you see a lot of links and some information about relevant content, and you want to stand out as a business owner to be on that front page. And how you can do it is using search engine optimization. It's a strategy where you can create content, and it's not just type the text, but also images and videos. So Google, using their algorithms, can determine, okay, this is a relevant content for this keyword and present to the audience appropriately. In this case, an example is JKYog. I just punched in JKYog and boom, I had the first link as JKYog. There are multiple times you look for something and you get some random articles and links. So that is very clear that the company has not put in enough on the SEO strategy. So as I mentioned here, there are more than 200 factors that determine ranking. Domain, subdomain, keyword, title tag, etc. It's summer here, so I'm a little sweating. I shouldn't have worn this sweater, but ignore my wiping of the face occasionally. SEO can take 6+ months to see results. You would want that, okay, you have your idea and you want the result immediately. That may not happen instantly. It takes some time. And that's when SEM comes into play. And what is SEM? Is paid ads, as simple as that. You want to have yourself on the home or the first page when someone searches for you. You can do it using SEM. So I'll go back to the previous slide. In this case, JKYog, whoever is managing the website, has done a fantastic job. That what if JKYog does not stand out in the algorithm that Google has put in? And that's when they have this ad at the top, so that, okay, you don't come up organically. Here's Google, here's some money. Can you have us on the top of the page? And that's where you can see there is the ad on the page. So a great job there by JKYog team. What happens in SEM? SEM is flexible. You can customize your link the way you want and the content on that ad. You can have call extension. You can have call out extensions where you can add text which you want to have people read and connect with your offering. There is cycling extensions, so you have sub pages, so you can add some informative pages and you can play around with it. That's the beauty of SEM, where you can have the ad in your control and you can play with it. The point here is, every time a user clicks on this ad, uh, you have to pay Google. So that's the whole thing. Google is doing a service for you. You have to pay for their service. Um, as a user, and for you as well, when you are going to any website, you see ads. Every time you click on those ads, that company has to pay Google. So think about it before you click on the ads, because it's costing someone some money. Another benefit of SEM is you can show it to the targeted audience. You can tell Google, hey, Google, I just want to show my website, let's say JKYog. I want to show to only people in the US, or people in India or any other country at this time, and present it strategically. So that's when SEM can be flexible for your requirement. It's good for testing. As I mentioned, test. You have to test everything on digital marketing and have a testing strategy always ready. The beauty of SEM is the results are immediate. You can see how many people are clicking on the links, who, well, not really the person's name, but where they are coming from, what is their geography, what is their demography, what is their age, which city they come from. Those kind of information can be really, really helpful on your SEM strategy. um, Click-through rates are lower because you're doing this targeted ads. So the numbers are low on the click-throughs, but very targeted ones. So that there is an ROI coming from the initiative that you're doing on SEM. So that's SEO and SEM. What's the benefit of SEO and SEM? Both helps your brand appear in search results. As I mentioned earlier, JKYog, there is paid ad, unpaid. It's showing right when people punch in JKYog. It drives traffic to the website. Let's say jkyog.org, the organic one wasn't showing up, but jkyog.org, the ad or the paid one was showing up. It will still generate some traffic. People will still click if they need information. SEM primarily helps in knowing your audience. SEO too does it. You can have a general understanding of who those people are, where they're coming from. So analytics is going to be really helpful from Google. Another key piece is you can uncover popular search term. Once you look into Google Analytics, you will find what people are punching in to reach to your website. Sometimes people are punching in on-ride retreat for Swami, or upcoming events from JKYog or Swami Mukundananda. So those kind of keywords, you will see that, oh, maybe JKYog is not ranking top, but Swami Mukundananda is ranking top. So you may want to play with those keywords and plan your strategy accordingly. And then testing. I think you'll see in all my slides on how I lay importance on testing. So that's SEO, SEM. The next piece that comes into play is content marketing. Now, what is content? It's basically storytelling. You have so many avenues. You have videos, you have images, you have text. All those avenues, you have to really think about one piece is, how am I telling my story about my product? And that's your overarching content strategy. On the right, you have this funnel, which breaks it down very simple way. This is more on the sales funnel, but can be applied for any product or business. Number one at the top is where people are just looking for information. So 75% of the traffic coming to your website are just looking for information. And the information can be presented in the form of blog articles, YouTube videos, podcasts, and so on. If you drop down in the funnel, once that person has educated himself or herself on your business, the next piece they do is, they tend to engage with you on social media or learn about key pieces about your business. And those key pieces are normally in about us section or testimonials or FAQs. So they are kind of warming up to engage more with your product or brand. And the last piece, this is the industry standards. 2% of them are ready to take action. They are either ready to contact you or inquire about your product or even buy. So you have to keep this funnel into mind when you are preparing your content marketing strategy. That's very important so that you can plan things accordingly and have a project on a monthly or yearly basis so that you can do strategic content marketing. The goal here is to ultimately get people to buy your product. It's as simple as that. If you have a product, you want people to really reach this 2% stage, and not just limit on 2%, maybe grow it further, 5%, 10%, but that's the numbers that you want to keep in mind. Um, so yeah, fundamental strategy is map the content to the pain point, and use the right type of content for that problem. If you have blog articles, so make sure you have blog written properly in that article. Just don't write anything which can cause people to jump off your website. So bounce rate is one thing that you have to keep in mind. So just to summarize till here is, content marketing, Google, SEO, SEM, those are all key and important avenues in digital marketing. And testing is important. And the important piece is it's not just this. There is so much depth in each of these topics that this 1 hour session would not be sufficient. So if you need more help or want to learn more, certainly reach out to me after this, or you leave some comments in the YouTube. The next piece, the fun piece, I enjoy this because it's fun, right? Social media, I can toggle between my personal as well as business side. Uh, and it's easy. It's on my phone. I'm walking around, I'm traveling, I can access my phone, I can read about information about the product and brands. So it's not just always my friends and family members, it's about brands that I engage with. So this is a platform that you want to have in your digital marketing strategy. I'll give you an example. There is an immigration lawyer I know of. He started off his business. All he did was create a Facebook group, and he used to invite people to that group and answer their questions. Eventually, he started to create videos and informative videos and post it on his Facebook. Then he started to do live sessions like this and answer questions when people are sharing their queries and answering them. Slowly, in next few months, the business started to grow. That he started to realize that he needed more help. So he hired another lawyer so that she can help him grow his business. So the point here that I want to share is the idea started with the Facebook group. So as I mentioned earlier, website is one thing. Yes, he does have a website, but the key cue here is that he used Facebook and really honed that strength. So one thing that is important in digital marketing is knowing your strength. If you know that this is very easy to use, something that you can do yourself and are feeling passionate about, just go for it. And then if areas where you are not really sure how things will work, you can outsource it, give it to your friends or family members, whoever wants to join in your venture. So, for example, someone may not be technical on the website. So if someone who is technical and who likes that, hand it over to him. That's the piece. You want to create a team of people who have their own strengths, and you learn from your weaknesses. Social media is key driver for content distribution. There are so many social media platforms. You have one post that you can make. There are tools in the market that you have one post and then it can spread across all social media channels. And those tools are Hootsuite, Sprinkler, for example. So that's the benefit of having those tools in your digital marketing strategy. It certainly helps improve your brand visibility. And some tips is ensure consistent information. Make sure that once you post hello, it goes hello all across channel. It shouldn't be hello and then hi or bye and then have confusion there. Or even if you want to share, let's say, your timing of the business. Let's say Twinkle has lemonade stand from 6 p.m. to 10 p.m. in the evening, then it should reflect on all social media platforms. And then regularly engage with audience on social media. The benefit of it is on your mobile device. You're traveling, you're walking, you can always engage whenever and wherever you want. You don't need laptop all the time. The next piece is email marketing, and I'll pause here to have a sip of water real quick, and maybe pause here and ask Aditi if there are any questions for me.
Gaurav, I really appreciated that you actually took the case study And you analyzed with respect to search engine optimization and search engine marketing. And that was very, very interesting for, for us, even at JKYog, to hear that. And thanks for bringing in your expertise in that way. I also like the fact that you mentioned that your content, when you write your content, it should be in a way that it actually helps your content to show up organically. And I think I had a follow-up question to that. When writing blogs, what are some of like the best practices when writing blogs? And what is my very limited knowledge, there's keywords that you can use, there's a certain
Mm.
length that needs to be followed, there's certain subheadings,
Mm.
but those are very basic knowledge points. So I don't want to get interfere with the flow of your presentation, but if we could have a little bit of um, light thrown on that, that would be good. At
Yeah,
Yeah.
certainly. So when it comes to content, one thing that you want to keep in mind is attention span of the audience. There is an industry study that there is only 3 seconds that you have as a business owner to capture audience attention. And you can capture audience attention through what? You have content in your hand, through your subject line, through good images or relevant images, and you already know keywords. So those are the key pieces that you want to keep in mind, especially when you're writing blogs. You want to have the capture, have the right subject line to capture the audience. And then if they stick around, you will find that people are liking the blog. And then the third piece or the another piece that is important while writing blog is don't write too much. As you scroll down, people tend to lose interest. So keep it short and succinct and to the point. Again, it goes back to the fundamental and it goes back to case basis, what your product is. So that's my top tip for blog writing.
And what about like we hear about this concept of when you talk to when you research on the internet, Neil Patel is like this guru for digital marketing, right? And he has what he calls a cornerstone post, which is more than 1,000 words, and it's
Mhm.
supposed to have like several subheadings in order to be effective. What is your take on that?
Yeah, I'm a big fan of Neil Patel myself. His ideas and tricks are really helpful. What I want to mention here is see what is working for you. It's not a one size fit all game in digital marketing. What works for Neil Patel and other businesses may not work for you. As I mentioned in that lawyer's case, he was doing all through his Facebook channel. So those are the things that you have to keep in mind. Certainly invest in the best practices because people are doing this research for you, and then you can apply it to your business. But you want to make sure you're getting enough traffic because of those initiatives that you're taking.
I see. And so, in terms of the return on investment, so are you saying that we should focus on the channels that have so far given us a good ROI? Or let's say we have a channel that has not developed to that extent yet, but
Mhm.
it's upcoming. So, how would you suggest you distribute the energies in that situation?
So for that kind of situation, what you want to do is you want to have a project plan in place. You don't want to just jump on it right away because you someone in your management org thinks that that is the way to go. Yes, it is appreciated that they are looking at things that way, but you want to have a project plan. You want to lay out, let's say, a monthly pattern or a weekly pattern that on this day you will focus on this avenue. What will happen because of this? One is you will create a discipline for yourself and the team. Uh, Second is because of this initiative, the other channels may get overlooked. But then if you have a project plan, that won't happen because you have a time and day for each and everything. So that is another piece. And then monitor how the engagement is happening on that channel, and then test it. Those kind of things that you have to keep in mind.
I see. Sure, Gaurav. I have a lot of questions coming in my mind, but I will let you continue. The very, very useful information.
Yeah, happy to
Yes,
chat with you
sure.
offline also, Aditi.
Sure. Thank you.
So, talking about email marketing, another channel. When it comes to email marketing, the first thing that comes to people's mind is, okay, people are sending emails. So I'll pause and give you some thoughts to ponder upon. When you wake up in the morning, you see emails in your phone or in your inbox. There are promotional emails and there are some transactional emails. Transactional emails are like, let's say you ordered something last night through Amazon Prime, and they are like order delivery notification. Those are typically transactional emails. Promotional email is coming from, let's say, Amazon Photos, or any other company. And those are promotional emails. Now, what I want to share with you is those emails are pre-built, are automated in advance. It's not that someone is sitting there waiting for 8 a.m. in the morning and shooting those emails. It's very strategically built in the backend, using logic. You know, if Aditi wakes up at 8 a.m., or not 8 a.m., but if Aditi shops on Amazon because I have her background or information, then send her this kind of promotion. A classic example is, let's say you have promotional emails in your inbox. Let's say if you're a male, you will see most of the mail products sending you emails, and that's happening because they know you in some way or the other. You have engaged online and left a trace for all these digital marketers to know you in somehow. And that's why they will send you those promotional emails related to your geography, your demography, or your behavior also. So that's the email marketing. It's not just sending out email and receiving. It's there is a lot complex things that is happening behind the scenes. And I can go on all these topics a lot because I'm so passionate, but I'll focus on this. Is there is high return on investment. You have a list of people, you can shoot emails and then seeing who's opening, who's clicking, and then filtering those lists, and then sending follow-up emails just to that market, and very relevant content. So there is a very easy way of doing email marketing. There is high return on investment because how much is going in just creating an email, sending it to the list. So the return on investment is high because in your email, if you say, hey, if you like it, buy it, boom, they receive the email, they buy your product, you have a sale. So versus people are coming to your website and thinking about it and discussing with their friends, versus email, you are inviting them to act quickly.
So,
There is a high return. Yeah.
sorry to interrupt. So, I think I'm just curious. So, what you're actually saying is because I think one of the things that you had mentioned to me in an earlier discussion was that first of all, you need to have a website
Mhm.
to track your leads. And then now I'm also hearing that email marketing actually has more conversions.
Mhm.
So, between website and email, where should the focus be?
Yeah. So website, the audience that is visiting your website, you wouldn't know them, unless you tie all that data in the backend. People who know about your product or don't know about your product, let's say someone is punching Lemonade or JKYog, they don't know you, and they're visiting the website, and you don't know them either. So you don't have their first name, last name. Versus email, you need to have the first name, last name of I mean, not first name, but email address of the person to engage with that person. So the way to collect the email address is, let's say someone comes to the website, goes to the funnel and leaves a contact us form, or like leaves their information in contact us form, or leave their information somewhere. Let's say lemonade stand, they just sign up and leave their email address. So that kind of information, once you collect, then you can do email marketing. Or you can go out and collect lists from the general database distributors and get emails for people in specific region, and then sending out cold emails, like cold calling, just seeing people who are looking for your business or product. So there is a difference there. So email you can have really targeted, and there is a high chance of ROI because let's say you have a list of 100 people in your database and you're sending out emails. Versus website, maybe there are 1,000 people, and only out of those 1,000, 2% are converting. So those kind of things are what differentiates between website and email. So I hope that helps.
Sure. So you're actually saying that email is further down the chain in the funnel, like
Yes.
than the website. So you're at email, you're probably already at the point where you're halfway there, maybe, because
Mhm.
this person has obviously signed up with you. So
Yeah, yeah. I'll give you another example. Let's say I'm a tissue paper manufacturer, okay, and I want to sell this in the world. So there are two kind of audience that know that Gaurav is a tissue paper manufacturer. Um, Two. One audience set is people who know me, my friends, my family, or some people who know through different channels. And then there is another set of audience, totally people who are unknown about tissue paper. Now, that's where website and SEO and SEM comes into play, where I use digital marketing channels to promote my business that, oh, there is some guy named Gaurav who is selling tissue papers in the world. And that's where the website and social media, etc., comes into play. Whereas the family members, they know you. Now, people who are unknown about your brand or people you don't know are are looking for tissue papers. If somehow they leave their information, now that they are converting from unknown to known. So whenever you have a known set of audience, it's easy to sell because you have built that trust. You know that they are looking for their product. So email tends to be in that session where you can certainly use for promotion and cross selling, etc., but also for upfront purchase.
Got it. Thank you, Gaurav ji. Please continue.
Oh, no.
Yeah.
Thanks, Aditi,
Yeah.
for those questions. I
Yeah.
I get excited. Um, Yeah, so emails, as I mentioned, there is high return on investment. There is opportunity for personalized. I know Aditi ji, so I can, those personalized email. Hi, Aditi, comma. So people know that this is Aditi, and then have that personalized one-to-one communication. That appeals Aditi also to respond to that email. Uh, there are ways you can test it. There is A/B test where you have, as I mentioned earlier, you can have buttons in purple, buttons in amber in that email and see if which one is working. ABM is account-based marketing. It's more of a B2B term. If you want to target, let's say Cisco only, so you can do some experiment around that. So under email strategy, this image captures a lot. You have metrics, you have CRM integration, which is a deep topic I can discuss later or offline, and there is website integration, etc. Some tips. The number one tip is using marketing automation platform. There are tools such as Mailchimp or Constant Contact for early, venture or startups, and then there are more matured ones like Marketo or Eloqua, more enterprise ones. So if you are grown to that level, you can have those platforms. But certainly invest in marketing automation platform because you can create logic. If send one email if someone opens it, send another email if someone does not open it, send another email, things like that. Uh, Another key piece is avoid spam words. All Google and all this Outlook, they know what are spam words. There is a database. So not every email is reaching your primary inbox. There are a few emails that are going in spam box also. And there are algorithms to determine why they are spam. There are keywords like free or buy now, Nigerian prince kind of emails. Uh, and those are the things that get caught in the spam, and that's why you'll see all those in the spam emails. Sometimes good emails also go in spam, and you have to really question why that is happening, and it's a big strategy discussion that we can talk offline. And last important is monitor and maintain email list. You can't just go out and buy list and send unsolicited emails because that can capture, attention. That can grab attention by certain regulatory, company or offices that may think that you are just spammer and not into a good business practice. So they may question you why you are sending out emails. Plus, all these companies will block you because you are sending unsolicited emails. People are unsubscribing from your emails. They know you are a bad sender, so they will start blocking you. So those are things that you have to keep in mind. All right. The next one is data and analytics. Do you have everything? There is digital marketing world. You have email. You have website. Everything. What happen? What to do with all this? And that's when data comes into play. Every tool tends to have the analytics piece, and you have to capture or use that for understanding how the audience is engaging. In my earlier slides, I showed you funnel. There is a funnel for this as well. Top of the funnel, middle of the funnel, and then bottom of the funnel, and then you can use all these metrics as an example to understand how you can use the data and analytics for your business. You can analyze which channel is working. You can gain cross channel visibility. Let's say you have a promotion campaign going on, and then You want to use it on Facebook, LinkedIn, Twitter, Instagram, and you're doing paid ads as well. And then you can see, oh, my campaign was about JKYog Youth Conference 2020. And then you see where people are engaging with you the most. And then use that as an information for your future conferences. You predict user behavior in this world of AI and predictive analytics. You can determine where the engagement is happening and using all those touch points for your future campaigns. Again, there is easy to experiment. Data analytics will always help you for testing. So analytics becomes a key piece there. Tips, two of my favorite ones. One is determine desired outcome. You're investing your time and energy in analyzing this data and all this digital marketing. What is the outcome of all this? What is your end goal? Just don't do it for the sake of doing. If your end goal is, certainly creating awareness for that campaign, are you meeting that? Or if your end goal is to get revenue increase from $10 to $100, then are you meeting that with all this investment? And then don't get too involved or overwhelmed with vanity metrics, click throughs and all those things. Focus on this end goal.
That's you actually bring up a very interesting point because a lot of the time, things move at a very fast pace when you have multiple events and multiple campaigns to run, and your events are spanned maybe like in 2 weeks or 1 week. So in that situation, it kind of becomes a little difficult to continuously monitor the data stream and make sense of the data that is coming in. So is there a way? So I love that you mentioned, don't focus too much on the click-through rates. Um, like if I have a promotional ad, then how many people actually clicked on the link? Because I actually have no way of knowing if that converted into a registration or somebody coming back to buy a product or something. I just know that these many number of people clicked on the link. So you're saying that I should not use that as a metric to determine the success of the campaign.
Yeah, yeah. So what happens here is there are two pieces that comes to my mind. Is one is called marketing attribution, where you can determine who that person is based on the engagement. And marketing attribution, it's a new term, very modern, where you can attribute every channel. Uh, let's say you have $10 for each channel, and then you see engagement across all channels, and then you justify which channel made the largest ROI. So there is that marketing ROI, and then you can use that to explain to your management that, okay, this is how we know that this channel generated the most leads. It's tricky because it's not foolproof. People don't just buy from LinkedIn, like visit LinkedIn or Twitter and then they just buy. No, they go to LinkedIn, Twitter, sleep over it. Next day they talk to their friends, and then they go to it. They see you on Instagram, and you just don't know which touch point caused the purchase. So marketing attribution comes with a double-edged sword there. What I personally suggest doing is focusing on the campaigns and doing reverse engineering. So if you have, let's say you have a goal, and if you see numbers coming in, so you start reverse engineering and asking questions why these numbers are coming in and which channel is generating that traffic. So it's tricky, but at the end of the day, it's how you present the story to yourself and to management, and how convincing it is, and how much it makes sense to all the energy and effort that you're putting in the initiative.
So then at some level, you'd have to have access to the back end to be able to gather all this data from different channels. And there has to be somebody who's consistently doing this analytics by applying and then applying whatever models to come up with what is the audience that's really interested in your content versus who am I marketing to.
Yeah, that's a good point, because I wanted to also mention to the audience that marketing and marketing data analytics is a very lucrative field to consider as a career path. My journey is an example, and there are so many people who have reached at the different stages in their careers. And to your question, you need to have access to the backend. Yes, again, my earlier point was focus on your strength. If your strength is content writing, don't get too consumed with numbers. Have help coming from a data analytics team member who's expert in that. And reach out to him or her to tell you the story versus you know figuring it out, because your mind is more on the content side. So you are more of a qualitative person, but then a data person is more quantitative. So use those strengths and have a team to use that information and be in a presentable situation.
Sure. Thank you, Gaurav.
So that's that. And I'm at the end of my session. So key takeaways: keep it simple. When you're running a business or taking it to the next level, put yourself in the customer's shoe. Would you be buying a lemonade, or would you be investing in that product? Uh, then start with the low hanging fruits. This is not a straightforward approach. You can pick anyone which works for you, but low hanging fruits will make you comfortable. Okay, I'm good at social media promotion. Okay, just go for it, and you never know which can work. Create a project plan. Once you start seeing some results, project plan is really helpful. Once you start having a team or growing the business, having a project plan and timeline will really help you and take it to the next level. I forgot to mention one more piece here is documentation. Along with project plan and timeline, there is documentation that is very key, so that you can refer to it. Or let's say you are on vacation and someone wants to take on your task, you can hand over the documentation so they don't call you during your vacations. Invest in content creation, because people want to engage with your product or brand. So content needs to be refreshed every now and then and has to be relevant. So invest in content creation and maintenance. Make sure your website is modern, it's clean and relevant, and use all those data to make sure you keep on doing that rinse of your website. Test, measure, optimize, repeat. This is like I should tattoo it on my body, I guess. You can't, as a digital marketer, this is one thing that you have to always keep in mind. Everything that you're doing, you need to consider testing and seeing if probably the next one helps you generate more sales or leads. I mentioned earlier, focus on your strengths and outsource your weakness. Outsource does not mean like cross country, but maybe your friend next door who is more expert in that area. Learn from others. I mentioned earlier, Neil Patel and all those gurus in the market in this world are really doing all their research. So learn from them, and just don't copy what they have applied as a strategy, because what has worked for them may not work for you. So be aware of what is working for you and celebrate. It can get super overwhelming. So many things are going. So pause at times and celebrate on some of the milestone successes that you have achieved, and that will help you stay motivated. So that's my takeaway for all of you. And then, this is my favorite line. Jeff Weiner, who was the former CEO of LinkedIn, is now an executive chairman. He once mentioned that dream big, have fun, and get things done. If you have those three qualities as a professional, you can reach multiple heights in your career. So I wish you all the best for your career and your venture. And I hope you take your business to the next level with some of the tips and tricks that I've shared today. So thank you once again for JKYog for having me today. And I'm happy to answer any questions now or offline as well.
Thank you, Gaurav ji. That was a very, very extensive presentation. We are on the top of the hour, but there's one question that came in. Um, can we have the slideshow that you showed today? And, what is a robots.txt for a website?
So that's an interesting, and it's a deep topic. I didn't catch the first question that you had.
The slideshow that you showed
Slide.
today.
Oh, yeah,
Yeah,
slideshow. Yeah, certainly. I would love to have the email address. Maybe I'll share it with you, and then you can share it with the attendees.
sure.
The next question is robot.text. It's a deep one. I am blanking out now. Let me Google it real quick. Oh, oh yeah, yeah. So this one for search engine. So this is there are different terms that can be used for robots at text, but Google Search Console is one tool that tells you, you know, which pages or files a crawler can or can't request to your site. So it's mainly used to avoid, you know, it's a mechanism that will help you keep the web page out of Google. So you want to make sure that you are keeping an eye out on those files and making sure that it's not affecting your website or any kind of engagement that you're seeing on the website.
Got it. So it's basically like a list of like taboo pages, and then if your content is over there, then you're basically like your content is not getting out, is what you're saying.
Mhm. Yeah, sometimes you have like dead links or pages that you don't want to show on Google. So in Google Search Console, there is a tool where you can maintain your web pages. So you can turn it off, turn it on,
Right.
so that people it doesn't show up on your homepage or any of the searches.
Wonderful. And with that, I think we are at the top of the hour. Gaurav ji, thank you so much for coming on this international platform and sharing your wisdom about digital marketing, which can really help young entrepreneurs, young social entrepreneurs take their ventures to the next level. Just having those tools and having the analytics and the power to analyze the data, the power to realize what audience they are targeting, it will really help them in today's age of tech and AI. I think these skills are extremely important for for the youth and the younger generation to know, because it's all about great content
Mhm.
and getting that content out there to make a difference in somebody's life. And thank you so much for sharing your incredible wisdom with us here today. And I hope that after the session, we can get access to your slides so we can send them out to the attendees.
Thank you very much, Aditi, and thank you for inviting me, and all the best for the remaining sessions today.
Thank you,
Take
Gaurav.
care.
Take care. Bye. And don't go away. We have yet another amazing session by Gaurav Tekriwal, who is the president, the worldwide president of the Vedic Maths Foundation. And he has some very interesting tips and tricks to share with you to improve the power of your mind through Vedic mathematics, improve your ability to think on your feet, and increase your confidence. As you know, mathematics is the mother of all sciences, and mathematics is an absolutely beautiful subject. And a lot of people, unfortunately, shy away from it when they're younger because because they haven't been taught in the right way or they haven't studied it the right way. But mathematics is a beautiful subject, and in many ways, learning mathematics also helps you to approach life in a better way, because once you take on a challenge like that, you also can take on other challenges. So stay tuned. And
Because after Aditi introduces you, then you can start your sharing if that's okay. Hold on, Aditi.
so, are we live? Rajanji, are we live?
No,